Good day! It's Mape time again. Are you excited for our lesson today? I hope you are all feeling well. Today, we'll be discussing tada! Prevention of substance use and abuse. Are you ready? At the end of this lesson, you are expected to discuss the risk and protective factors in substance use and abuse. But before we start, let us go back to our previous lesson. Describe the drug scenario in the Philippines. We hear and we are aware of extrajudicial killing of people related to drugs. The government also implemented different programs about drugs like Oplan Tokhang. Aside from this, the policemen arrest lots of local and international drug syndicate members, traffickers, and they even destroy secret laboratories and warehouses. President Rodrigo Duterte promised to clean the issue of drugs in the Philippines in just 3 months. However, he admitted that it is impossible because of worsening case of drugs in the Philippines. Ganun na kalala ang drug scenario dito sa Pilipinas. Also, in our community, we see lots of teens engaging in drug use and abuse. And this is the present drug scenario in the Philippines. Now, you're ready for the new topic. Again, this is Mam Lara. Just sit back, listen carefully, and learn. According to studies, 90% of drug users are male and 10% are female. Most of them are single, unemployed, and in their early 30s. They usually have not entered college and earning not more than 15,000 a month. According to the report, they have been using one type of drug only for 6 years or more. This is common in urban areas. Common drugs of abuse are first, shabu, second, marijuana, and third, inhalants. Let us now analyze the situation in this news clip.
5 drug suspect ang inaresto sa operasyon ng pulisya sa isang drug den. Kasama sa nahuli ang lalaking 14 anyos na pinag-deliver daw ng droga ng sariling ama. Nakatutok si Cesar Apolinario, exclusive.
Tawag sa cellphone ng hudyat na nagkaabutan na kaya sumalakay na ang mga otoridad sa paupahang bahay sa barangay Nova Proper sa Novaliches, Quezon City. Hindi na nakapalag ang mga sospek nang makorner sa kwarto. Kabilang si Ivan Abad alias Pengot na umaming drug den ang kanyang bahay. Arestado rin sina Nashley Moral, Richard de la Cruz at Jason Castillo na naabutang bumabatak pa ng shabu. Bukod sa buy bust money, nakuha ang mga plastic ng shabu, pati foil na may bakas pa ng droga.
Dami niya na.
Ikaw daw ang pasimulo, totoo ba?
Magpapashoot po sila, dinadala ko po dito. Dito po yung festival.
Eh sabi sa iyo daw di-deliver, totoo ba?
Opo.
Ang 14 anyos na binatilyong ito na taga-Caloocan, umaming pinag-deliver lang siya ng shabu ng kanyang ama para kay Castillo.
Nagtutulak tatay mo?
Opo.
Alam mo na drugs yung di-deliver mo?
Opo. Pag medyo in doubt yung tatay sa deliver, yung anak yung pinapadala. May batas naman na nagpo-protekta, kaya sigurado ako na turnover lang din sa magulang. At magagamit pa rin ng tatay.
Dinala sa DSWD ang binatilyo. Sa investigasyon, lumabas na nakulong na dati ang ilan sa mga sospek dahil din sa droga at doon daw sila nakakuha ng drug supplier. Kaya nang makalaya, nagsabwatan umano sila sa pagtutulak. Sa kabuuan, nasa 140,000 pesos ang halaga ng syabung na samsam sa mga sospek. Cesar Apolinario, nakatutok, 24 oras.
What made the 14-year-old boy be involved in the issue of drugs? Correct. His family, most especially his father, made him to deliver or transport the illegal drugs because minors cannot be jailed for any crime they commit. This is one reason or factor why most teens are involved in the use and misuse of drugs. Let us familiarize ourselves in the terms and common concepts in drug education. First, drugs are any substance which when taken into the body, either through nasal, sinisinghot, oral, iniinom or kinakain, transdermal, dinidikit sa balat sa pamamagitan ng patches, or intravenous, sa pamamagitan ng pagturok, have psychological, emotional, and behavioral effect on a person. Next, drugs of abuse are drugs commonly abused by users. Like in the Philippines, the common drugs of abuse are shabu, or also known as methamphetamine HCl. Another is marijuana and inhalants. Okay? And next, drug dependence, in which the use of drug takes on a high priority, thereby creating a strong desire to take the substance, as if they cannot live without taking drugs. So this is what we call now addiction. Drug misuse. Drug misuse is the use of substance incoherent or inconsistent with the prescribed dosage or frequency of use. One is taking the drugs incorrectly or is not prescribed by the doctor. Drug abuse is the use of substance for non-medical purposes. Like for example, marijuana. Marijuana, according to studies, this can be cured to certain disease, but some people are abusing this substance. Maybe this is the reason why marijuana is not legal here in the Philippines. Last, drug tolerance is the condition of the body to adapt to the effects of substances to the body, thus adding more doses to drug intake. Okay, so again, the terms are drugs, drugs of abuse, drug dependence, drug misuse, drug abuse, and drug tolerance. Let us now discuss risk and protective factors in substance use and abuse. When we say risk factors, these are influences which increase the chances of using, misusing, and abusing drugs. While protective factors are those influences which decrease the chances of using, misusing, and abusing drugs. These are domains of life which affect drug use and abuse. First, personal. This has something to do with yourself and self-control behavior. Next is the family. Then peer and friends. Next is the school. And finally, community. To better understand risk and protective factors, we will use this number line. Do you know what number line is? Very good. Lines of positive and negative integers are numbers. Risk factors are the negative integers and protective factors are the positive integers. So positive numbers or protective factors are on the right and negative numbers or risk factors are on the left. Let's try this one. Tell whether these phrases are risk or protective factors. Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. First, use of drugs like cigarette and alcohol at an early age. Again, use of drugs like cigarette and alcohol at an early age. Very good. This one is an example of risk factor. This belongs to one's personal domain and self-control. Next, poor parenting and child rearing. Poor parenting and child rearing. That's correct. This is under the family domain, and this one also is an example of risk factor. How about sense of belongingness? Sense of belongingness. Good job. This is an example of protective factors under personal domain. Next, positive family relationship. Positive family relationship. It's already on the phrase. Nice one. This is protective factor under family domain. Another, association with peers and friends who do not use cigarette and alcohol. Association with peers and friends who do not use cigarette and alcohol. Very good. It is another protective factor under the peers and friends domain. And last, involvement in fights and conflicts. Involvement in fights and conflicts. Another correct answer. Risk factor under the school domain. You are doing great. Now, how can we avoid these risk factors? Very good. Always think positively. Strengthen our self-control and be with someone who will lead us to good. You did a good job. Seems like you have already mastered our lesson. But wait, there's more. I want you to analyze the picture carefully and answer my questions after. Ready? Okay. First picture. What do you see in the picture? Okay. Someone's test paper has a failing marks. What do this picture imply? What do this picture imply? This means that the owner of test paper has a problem studying, or he has poor academic performance in school, or probably he has problems. Okay? Next, how does it affect you and the people around you? How does it affect you and the people around you? Of course, your family, most especially your parents, won't feel happy about this. Let's move on to the next picture. What do you see in the picture? Correct. A man injecting drugs in his arm. What do this picture imply? Very good. This man is probably a drug user. He's taking drugs intravenously. Tinuturok niya. Tama. And he's a drug addict because we can see it in his eyes, right? How does it affect you and the people around you? He can harm other innocent people, correct? We all know that a person under the influence of drugs is not in his proper mind, right? Last picture. What do you see in the picture? You see gun, money, drugs, passbook in the bank. Correct. What do this picture imply? Correct. A person who is drug dependent already, addict, lango sa droga, are susceptible to steal just to earn money for drugs or do bad things for their addiction. How does it affect you and the people around you? Of course, we live in fear. We don't have peace of mind knowing that there are drug addicts around you who can do harm to you or to any member of your family. Correct. Now, let us try to connect these three pictures. Those who have problem in school, but not everyone, are prone of taking drugs. Probably gateway drugs or the legal drugs, cigarettes and alcohol. And eventually, This may lead them to drug abuse use and to stealing, killing, and other worst crime and activity. Okay, now I want you to go on the given link flashed on your screen and answer the survey questions. What did you learn from this lesson? I'm sure all of your answers are correct. Let us strengthen all the protective factors. Let's start with ourselves. We have to brace our self-control behavior. Let us also build harmonious relationship with people around us and seek help if you have problems. After learning our lesson today, can we avoid the temptation of taking drugs? Of course, there are lots of risk factors why people take drugs. But protective factors are enough to avoid or stop using and misusing drugs. Always remember, drugs are not the solution to your problem. I know you have learned a lot today. Are you ready for a short quiz? Good. Let's start. Identify the phrases if they are risk or protective factor. You have 5 seconds to answer each number. Please get a sheet of paper to write your answer. Number 1. Lack of commitment to studies. Lack of commitment to studies. Number 2. Strong community relationship. Strong community relationship. Number 3. Experimentation. Experimentation. Number 4. Self-control behavior. Self-control behavior. And number 5. Clear and consistent family rules. Clear and consistent family rules. Let's see if you answered them correctly. Let's check your answers. Number 1, lack of commitment to studies. Your answer is risk factor. Very good. Number 2, strong community relationship? Your answer is protective factor. Correct. Number 3, experimentation. The correct answer is risk. Very good. Number 4, self-control behavior. The correct answer is protective factor. Very good. And last, number 5, clear and consistent family rules. The correct answer is protective factor. You did it. Congratulations and keep it up. For our agreement for this lesson, I want you to write a short script showing the risks and protective factors of using drugs. Please refer to the attached rubric in writing your script. You may save your output on the Google Drive or personal submission during retrieval. There are 4 criteria to consider in writing your script. 1 is content, organization and story, grammar, and spelling. So be careful, and if you have questions or clarifications about this, you may contact me. That's all for now. I will leave you with a quote from Bob Riley. Drugs are the enemies of ambition and hope. And when we fight against drugs, we are fighting for the future. And we all deserve a better future. So let us all join hands in fight against drugs. Thank you for listening. See you again on our next lesson.